All right, thank you guys so much for being here for the March Project Vision meeting. My name is Kiana McClure. I am the co-chair here at Project Vision. Usually I have my right-hand man Adam here, but he is not with us today. So we're just gonna go ahead and get this ball rolling. I would like to invite Mayor Dunges up for his remarks.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming, first of all. I did want to talk about a current topic. Some of you may have heard and some of you may not have. The state in the General Assistance Program, which is the program that's been funding the hotel stays, there will be a cohort of people leaving on Friday. The state has set up a temporary shelter system throughout the state in 4 locations. Rutland is one of those. Oh, thank you, sorry. Rutland is one of those locations. Right now, that is slated to be at the Asa Bloomer Building for 7 days, starting on Friday evening and ending on Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Or the following Saturday morning, so it'll be for a week long. It'll be overnight shelter only. Just want to make sure everyone here is aware of that. The police department and myself have been working together to make sure we have proper staffing for that. The state is bringing in National Guard as well as EMS providers, some private security, and I think the sheriffs are going to actually be there as well for inside the shelter overnight. Yeah, so they'll move in about 100 cots is the target. The National Guard is supposed to help bring those down. It's all state run. This afternoon, about 2 o'clock, they're going to start releasing details on how they're going to do all of that. So we have very little information right now. Actually, that's part of the reason why Adam's not here today, is he's working on that shelter service provisioning, and all that information should be coming out this afternoon. In the interim, I'll take just 2 more seconds. In the interim, we are trying to look for an alternate location. The Asa Bloomer Building doesn't have a lot of services, amenities. It's tile floors, it's slate. So I've reached out to a couple of property owners. The state is working with a couple of them to try to see if we can move it from the Asa Bloomer Building to another location that might be a little bit more appropriate. But Plan A right now is the Asa Bloomer Building. You had a question? It is starting this Friday, so tomorrow at 7 p.m. It might be 6 p.m., but right now it's slated for 7 p.m. They're trying to finalize those times. That's not what today's Project Vision meeting is about, so I just want to call that out. I want to get the information out there. Keep an eye on Facebook. We'll try to put as much out as it comes. But today's meeting, you guys have an agenda, so I want you to stick to it, but I just wanted to make sure everybody had that update. Any other questions? Awesome. Oh, yep. Go ahead.
To prevent that plan from going forward?
So not at the moment. We've discussed this with the state. The governor has put forward this proposal, put it in action that they have 2 days to do this, so it's a very swift thing. The use of the state buildings is, there's actually legislation, so I think it's state statute 4413 that says the state can use their buildings however they see fit. And they don't have to get permission. So that's kind of the line that's been towed a little bit, and that's where it's at the moment. Our representatives are going to be back down here tomorrow afternoon, so Representative McGuire, Paul Clifford, Mary Howard, and I think Rep. Knott will all be back in Rutland tomorrow afternoon. I think that's their plan. Feel free to reach out to them to have a conversation if you want to see them take a little bit of action. But the current thread is that it is a Band-Aid, but it is better than letting people out of the hotels and just having no place for them to go. So, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Dunges. And next I'm going to invite Chief Kilcullen up.
Thanks, Kiana. Just a couple more points on that, what the mayor just mentioned. So this doesn't affect, those being displaced does not include the elderly, those with disabilities, families with children. It's basically single adults, single able-bodied adults. So that's the population currently being displaced. So we're not sure exactly how many will show up to the shelters that are being put in place around the state. But as the mayor mentioned, there are 4. We are 1. So it is more than just Rutland County potentially. So we're not sure what what that population might look like. But it is more than just Rutland County. As I said, we'll find out Friday night what this looks like, and and do everything we can. But again, the state has dedicated some resources in terms of the National Guard. It's contracted, looking to contract the Sheriff's Department and Stockton Security. So our hope is that there are no issues that arise out of these arrangements, and it'll be business as usual for us. So we'll be busy without the shelter. But in terms of what is keeping us busy, so for those who have been to our RUDSTEP meetings or have been to police commission meetings, you may have seen some of our reports that we do, and we go through, we report out where are we going, at least 3 times in a 2-week period, what's keeping us busy. So just, and I haven't done this in a while, but I just wanted to bring our most recent RUDSTEP report just to give you a sense for kind of what we respond to on over a 2-week period. And just a quick summary, we respond to about 12,000 calls a year, so it's roughly about 1,000 calls a month. And how does that break down? Now, if you remember, a couple of years ago, we created our community resource specialist position because, the difficulty we're having, not just us, but most law enforcement agencies in Vermont and elsewhere, having with identifying, hiring police officers. In addition to that, when we do hire police officers, it is quite a lengthy process to get that person up as a full-service officer. And so we said, what else can we do? So we identified the opportunity to hire civilian employees. Again, looking at the calls that we're responding to, about 25% are not criminal in nature, right? There's no criminal aspect to the call that we're responding to. So we created the community resource specialist position to respond to many of the non-criminal calls. And the focus is on, depending on the circumstances, but mediation, de-escalation, and connecting people with resources. And so that's why we created that position. We started with, if you remember, Matt Prouty was our first community resource specialist in August of '22. That lasted a few months, and then we pulled him back as a police officer. So he's been commander, executive director, Project Vision ever since. But we are up to 3 positions now. We're in the process, we had some movement within the department, and so we're in the process of hiring, identifying that 3rd candidate, because we do have 1 opening, and we'll be filling that very shortly. So again, in our most recent analysis, 28% of the calls year to date were not criminal in nature. 20% of the calls we're responding to are traffic related. So between our non-criminal calls and our traffic related offenses or incidents, that's about half of what we respond to. And then everything else after that is sort of spread out, and violent crime, juvenile-related issues, other types of disputes, some proactive policing. So again, majority of our time, not criminal and traffic-related. And so that's where we're sort of putting our resources. And so, for a period of time, we had an opening in with our community response team sergeant, and we filled that about a year ago or so, sometime last year, and part of the focus of that particular position will be on traffic-related issues. We just did a pretty thorough analysis of our crashes, looking when they're occurring, where they're occurring, and the reason we did that is because we had a request to look at our flash cycle on our lights. At what time are we putting them on flash? Are they contributing, the fact that they're on flash, are they contributing to some of the crashes? And our analysis kind of suggests that that's not the case, that the flash cycle is not contributing to crashes. But we have identified when they're occurring, where they're occurring. And this sort of ties into a model we were using before COVID, which was called DDAX, which is the acronym is Data-Driven Approaches to Crime and Traffic Safety, and it's a model that was promoted by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which combines the analysis of crashes and crime, where are they occurring, what time are they occurring, and then the idea is to put resources in those areas. Once you map that out, put resources in the areas where they're occurring at the same time. And the idea is that the enforcement tends to reduce the crashes, and the visibility tends to reduce the crime. So we started that before COVID, but during COVID, we had to sort of curtail that, and we need to get back to that. But again, this is the first step. As I said, filling that position with the community response team sergeant, have part of his focus be on traffic-related type issues and spearhead our traffic initiatives. So Again, just a quick overview. I know we got a pretty full agenda today, so I don't want to take too much time. But again, as I said, with Rudstat, we do meet every 2 weeks, open to the public. We met 2 days ago, so we'll meet again in 12 days. So after that, it's every 2 weeks. So feel free to come. It's the second floor of the police station in the Vision Conference Room. And again, appreciate all your time. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Chief. And speaking of the Vision Center, we have the Vision Center update from Commander Prouty.
So for those of you that haven't been in the Vision Center, we have some co-located workspace with cubicles that when the sheriffs originally moved out, Chief Baker took that space, and we got some free stuff from the feds. Several of you that are here have cubicles there, but we did, the Rutland County Community Justice Center had been in there for a while. They had a staff member move on. They have a new person coming in, so that's pretty exciting, but we also added Vermont Adult and Teen Challenge. Mark's over here. Sean Burns was by today looking at the space. Why does this matter? So for those of you that don't know, Vermont Adult and Teen Challenge is a faith-based organization that works in long-term recovery, but they helped meet a really cool need this week. So we received a call in the Vision Center, the CRT sergeant from the Southwestern Vermont Council on Aging. They received a donation from the hospital for hospital beds. They have places for those to go. What they don't have are people to pick those beds up and carry them into houses. So Vermont Adult and Teen Challenge is going to help meet that need. So that's the beauty of Vision, where two disparate partners can work together and meet a very big need. Because I don't know about you, but I had absolutely no intention of carrying hospital beds for anybody. The outreach care team that's been working with our partnership with the Free Clinic and the Medical Reserve Corps, Turning Point, and Community Care Network, Rutland Mental Health, is really getting traction. So every other Monday and every Wednesday, this team goes out for a few hours and we work in the margin, right? Folks that they're trespassed from the hospital, they're probably not engaged in services, but over time, we buy a dozen donuts, we get a big box of Joe, and that's our icebreaker, and we go into space and we work with folks. And we've really built some rapport to the point where we've gotten people into primary care. We've had partners at Brock, so Shelly and Vanessa have been awesome about, hey, would you mind just stopping in and chatting with this individual at the hotel? Things like that. We're getting people into open access at Rutland Mental Health so they can get signed up for services, to the point now where other communities are actually reaching out to us and say, hey, can you tell us a little bit more about how did you make this happen? How is it working? So it's getting noticed. So credit to Tia and Eric and others that are on the team. Sherry Prouty is here. Once a month at the Legion, Sherry hosts a spaghetti dinner. And it's coming up on the 20th. The revenue, the money earned from that spaghetti dinner goes to veteran suicide prevention and PTSD. So if that's something that you're interested in, it's a near and dear subject to Sherry and I, so we would be really happy to see you there. And lastly, I wanted to do a shout out to my community response team and the CRSs. Without getting into too many details, yesterday they hit one out of the park with a vulnerable older Vermonter who had credit cards being taken out in her name, and folks that had sort of forcibly moved into her living space. And they partnered with Adult Protective Services and other agencies and just did a tremendous job yesterday as a team, dealing with a whole host of issues that had gone unchecked could have been very, very devastating. So my team that's in the room, well done. That's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to open it up for announcements in just one moment. We do have someone at the top of the list today, but I'm going to supersede for just a second to tell you all about Night Vision. We are having our second Night Vision meeting this evening at CrossFit Rising Star. Rob, will you wave up there in the back? Rob is the owner over there, and he is partnering with Tiffany, who I'm assuming is next to him, and they will be presenting from the Phoenix. They'll have a little bit more information for us later this afternoon, but this will be this evening at 6:45 p.m. If anyone has any questions on the location, how to get there, please feel free to catch me after this meeting, catch Rob. We'll give you the directions. House Center can be kind of confusing. And next, I would like to invite Eric Pulver up to the podium to give some updates on a new forming committee.
I'm not as tall as the rest.
It's movable.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Kiana.
No problem.
All right, so some of you know me, but my name's Eric Pulver. I'm the Emergency Preparedness Specialist for the Department of Health here in Rutland, in that Asa Bloomer building we talked about earlier. And, but I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is a new committee that myself and Dr. Linda Olson from Castleton are launching, which is going to be the Education and Training Committee. And so I'm going to read you the vision we kind of came up with to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing. So our vision is to collect, organize, and champion educational opportunities to expand capacity, resiliency, and skill development in working professionals and the general public. So what that exactly means is that we want to basically bring all of the trainings and educational opportunities that you all are already doing together into one central area so we can share that out to everyone. And so that we can not duplicate efforts, and if you need, specific trainings, then you will know where to go, either the Center for Social Justice and Trauma-Informed Care at Castleton, or maybe something that the hospital is doing that would be of interest, that kind of stuff. And so we want to collect all of that together. And so in the beginning aspects of that, Dr. Olson did put out a survey that was on training, and we did get 31 responses, with a very good, varied amount of different type of trainings that everyone was looking for. And so that we're going to start with that base and kind of move from there. And so if you are interested in any of this kind of stuff, we do have our first meeting, which is April 5th at 1 p.m. It'll be a virtual Teams meeting. And if you're interested in that, please find me and I'll write your name down and I'll get your email and I'll get you that invite over to you. So that's what I've got. Thank you.
And next, I would like to invite Maggie O'Brien from the Rutland Regional Planning Commission. I assumed you were here with your folder and your notes for a reason, so to provide some updates about the regional plan.
Okay, I guess I'm doing this impromptu. So Maggie O'Brien, I am from the Rutland Regional Planning Commission, like Kiana said. Right now, we are in the process of updating our regional plan. If you're not aware, every regional planning commission has a plan that they update once every 8 years, similar to a town plan, and we're really looking to get community engagement this time around. So we have multiple ways we're doing that. One is through open community houses, one is through the survey that we have online, which you should totally take the survey because you can enter to win a free smokeless grill. But the main one that we're focused on right now it involves inviting people to focus groups and technical workshops, which is kind of why I came today. I just wanted to introduce myself to all of our partners here and let you know that we're interested in getting whatever input we can for the regional plan, especially for those populations that are traditionally underserved, which is exactly the kind of people that you guys work with, those who are disabled, those who are elderly, BIPOC people, and so forth. So, yeah, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. All right. Any other updates? We've got another update. I'll actually have somebody circulating with a microphone here, I believe. Do we have the mic? Could we circulate with the mic, please? Awesome, awesome. We've got hands up over here. Thank you, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Jamie Bentley, Community Impact Coordinator with Rutland Regional Medical Center, and I'm going to jump on the survey coattails of everyone else. We are in the data gathering year for the next Community Health Needs Assessment, which will come out in September of 2024. So it seems like far away, but it's not really that far away. And right now we are asking key informants and stakeholders within our community to take a survey to help inform the priority areas for the community health needs assessment. So I know Matt and/or Kyle sent that link out over the listserv last week or the week before. We currently have about 100 people who have taken that survey, but if you haven't taken that survey, please do. This is a time for you as key informants and as folks within our community who help people in our community and who understand what's happening in our community to have a voice and to talk about and tell me and the advisory council that works on the community health needs assessment of what are those areas, what are those trends, what are the things that you are seeing that can help inform the work that we do over the next 3 years. So I may send that out again, so if you see that on the listserv, please take that survey. It's short. I think I strong-armed Matt into taking it earlier this week. So it is true. But yes, please take that, and if you can't find it, come find me, and I'll make sure that you get the link. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have another hand up I saw over here.
Sorry.
I figured the mic moving would be easier than asking people to come up this far.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Reeves. I'm the director of the social work program at VTSU Castleton. And I wanted to make sure everyone knew that on March 24th, we will be holding a job and grad school fair. And for so those of you in the community that are looking to hire our students that are graduating soon or some of our rising seniors coming up. It's on the 24th from 11 to 1 o'clock on our campus. I have saved the date card, so if you're interested, just find me at some point before the end of the day and I'll give you that card. Basically, you come up, there'll be a table set up for you to put out, if you've got specific jobs that are open or just information about what your agency does and what your needs are. The other thing that I wanted to announce is today is the last day the seniors will be coming to Project Vision because April is break and many of them are away, and May they'll have graduated. So I just wanted to acknowledge all of them. They've all been in the community doing great things with your agencies. I'm really proud of them, and if we can give them a hand, that would be nice.
Thank all of you so much for your hard work that you've done in our community. I cannot wait to see what else you guys do. So thank you so much. Last call on announcements. If not, we're going to go ahead and lead right into the presentation from the Phoenix. And I'm assuming Rising Star CrossFit coming up as well? Come on up, take the podium, guys. Awesome, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Foster. I am a person in recovery, the volunteer manager for the New England region of the Phoenix. Apologize for my malfunction here. I did have Holy jeans on, but when I put air in my tire today, they turned into a bigger hole. So a little embarrassing, but I'm here. So a little bit about the Phoenix. We are a nationwide nonprofit. Our mission is to create a movement of volunteers that change the way that addiction is looked at. We want to reduce stigma. We're all about community and the transformational power of that community and connection. Some of the things that we do are CrossFit, yoga, meditation, hiking. We go on trips to Moab, surfing, social events, pretty much anything you can do with a group of people that creates community and connection. The best part about the Phoenix is it is completely free. The only cost of attendance is 48 hours of sobriety. It is available to anyone, friends, family, allies, supporters, people on a recovery journey, because we know that that is what it is. Maybe sober curious people, or just anybody with 48 hours of sobriety. I did have a PowerPoint, so I'm going to keep myself on track here. We keep all of our events safe and supportive by our ethos, so we're all about inclusivity, safety, and just bringing people together. Our ethos is that we honor sobriety. We welcome all. We strive to create safe and brave spaces, and we rise together. Some of the ways that the Phoenix could look like, so I'm from Lowell, Massachusetts. We have a little gym that the Middlesex Sheriff's Office built for us in one of their facilities, and they're open to the general public, they're open to re-entering citizens, they're open to everybody. A lot of the work that I do is I go into institutions and we start to create that work inside while individuals are still incarcerated. Create that buy-in, create that connection, because we're going to connect, no matter if we're connecting to a negative substance, knuckleheads that we used to hang out with, whatever it is, we're going to connect, so why not have people connect and be aware of this community, so upon reentry, they have a place, they have somewhere to go, somewhere to be productive. Me personally, I have what I like to call a monkey mind, right? It's always going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it can go in bad ways, it can go in good ways, and when I exert myself physically and do hard things with a group of people who are cheering me on and rooting me on, that is recovery for me, right? Like, I couldn't have recovered on my own. I needed other people to show me the way, to tell me I could do it, to cheer me on. And that is what the Phoenix is. Like, people say it's a free sober gym for people in recovery. And it's so much more than that. I have a personal story. I went to school to be a substance abuse counselor and was working in a women's halfway house. And there was this woman, it was her first attempt at recovery. She was in her 60s, right? She had some bad discs and had become addicted to pain medication. That's a common story that we hear. And I worked with her to, just start stretching her neck, right? And then, we started going on walks. Eventually, I got her in the upstairs living room, and we did toning, or torture with Tiff, as they dubbed it. And finally, I got her to the Phoenix, and do you guys know, any of you know, what a box jump is? We take this, wooden box, it's 20 inches, it's kind of intimidating to jump up on. We put, the whole class is doing box jumps, right? And everybody's doing it to a different level. Some people are jumping up on 2 plates, it's this much. Some people are jumping up on 20 inches. Some are jumping on 30 inches, right? So everything was scalable and adaptable for everyone in the class. And we put Robin jumping up on 2 plates, and then a week later, 3 plates. A month later, we put that box in front of her, and everybody's cheering her on. She's terrified, right? I'm like, you can do it. I video her jumping next to it so she see her feet can clear the box, right? We're all cheering her on. She's terrified. She jumps on that box and just bursts into tears, right? And the whole class bursts into tears. And everybody's clapping and everybody's cheering. And what is that if not recovery, right? Showing her she can do it, telling her she can do it. I knew what the Phoenix had done for me in my life, building confidence, helping me facilitate groups at that halfway house, right? Doing hard things in the gym allowed me to do hard things in life. And 2 weeks later, I'm sitting in my office with this woman. I've been working with her for over a year. And she calls her daughter, who she hasn't spoken to in over 2 years. Right? The courage that it took for her to call her daughter to do that hard thing. Is it because she did a box jump? I don't know. But I believe that the power, the transformative power of a community and people cheering you on and telling you can do that thing had something to do with that. The way that this can look anywhere is anyone, anywhere can become a volunteer and say, hey, I love what you're doing, and I want to bring that to my community. I use Heidi in Worcester, Massachusetts as an incredible example. We have a hub in Boston, and there's just all this Phoenix there, and then 2 hours out, there's no in-person Phoenix. She was a member of a gym, walked in, saw another person wearing a Phoenix shirt, and they came together and they said, how do we get the Phoenix here, right? How do we bring this to our community? And all they had to do was reach out to a Phoenix staff member at the time. Now it's even easier. You just download the app, attend an event in person or virtually, and you are eligible to volunteer. There's a very short training. It's a 6-minute cartoon video. It's awesome. You get connected to a onboarding specialist who shows you how to use the app, how to upload your events, all of that. We have marketing specialists who will pump it out to your local places where you find people like me and people like you. And after that, it's just we partner with spaces, churches, gyms, yoga studios, or just a volunteer who wants to go on a dog walk around the lake because they're already doing that every Friday and they want to throw it up on the app and create a sober space. It's as easy as that. And once they created one class, people started coming. They started loving it. They started saying, how can I do this? A skating event popped up, a bowling event. 2 more gyms came on within a matter of 2 months, and they have a class 5 days a week in their area within a half hour of each other, just based off of 2 people running into each other and sharing a passion that, like, moving their body and being around other people that have similar goals can create. What haven't I covered? Like I said, we have an app. It is The Phoenix Sober. You just type that in your app. There's over 100,000 users on that. We have partner spaces. We partner with CCAR. Other organizations can hold space on our app and sort of like cross-pollinate events and stuff. We have a podcast. We have live streaming events that you can join from your living room, your bedroom, wherever, up to 60 of those a week, everything from belly dance workshops to meetings to coffee hours to CrossFit, right? All of that on the app. I don't know what else I got. Questions? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, so the Phoenix can be wherever we want it to be. We do have Phoenix events currently in Burlington, Barrie, and we've had Phoenix in Rutland here at CrossFit Rising Star. And our vision is to just create more resources and more events. I know for me, I got sober at 25 and was like, I'm going to spend my life in church basements. And that did not sound very appealing to me, as it doesn't to a lot of people. And there's no one right way to recover, right? So the Phoenix believes in all pathways to, I believe, and the Phoenix believes in all pathways to recovery. And the more resources and things that we can have for people, right? Like, I really thought I was going to just no longer have a social life or be able to do things. And our founder, Scott Strode, talks about, right, like every time he climbs a mountain or throws a heavy weight over his head, he's a little bit more a weightlifter and a rock climber than a drug addict. Right, so it's got. Yeah. Yes, so it is specifically around Phoenix events and our partners. So like there are Recovery Dharma meetings on there. There's like local organizations can put their events up on there, but very similar to Meetup. All you have to do is, based off of your location on that app, it'll tell you anything in person going on in your area, and you can just sign up there. There's also groups that you can join. My favorite is the Phoenix Pets. Everybody just uploads their photos of their animals, or CrossFit or yoga, and you can connect with people nationwide in your area. And then if there isn't anything in your area, there is live streaming events all day long. Yes. Yeah, so it's similar to the Airbnb app, how they have like a user side where you can rent, and then they have like the renters side of the app. So it's one app. There's the member side where you sign up for your classes and you like social media kind of stuff side of it. And then there's the volunteer side where people set up their events. They have team up so you can connect with other volunteers in your area to ask for support and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's very similar. You can see everything that's going on in your area through the app. Great question. Any other questions? Yes. Yes. Yeah, I definitely have pamphlets with me. Sorry, I was late, but I have them in my backpack. Rob? Yeah?
Hi, everybody. I'm Rob DeTersi. I own CrossFit Rising Star. You probably don't know about it because it's way in the back of the House Center, right next to the Westridge Clinic, which you probably know about. We've been there for 8 years. CrossFit, if you don't know about it, is a very intense, very strenuous, yet somehow surprisingly fun fitness program. Many of you will disagree with me. And that's cool, all right? And that's the point, though. So what happened was, I can't even remember how I got connected with Phoenix.
Larry. Or was it your
It was
mural?
Yeah, it was kind of a combination.
Yeah.
Oh, I know how it was. So this one day, I'm sitting in the gym in the office, and the doors are open, and we have a lot of traffic of people getting their dose every day. And I've always had this like dream about just taking somebody and helping them out. You know, we've all had that dream, right? And this kid walks in. He's a kid. He's like in his early 20s, but he's like bright. He's happy. He's like, hey, I really want to do CrossFit. I really want to check this out. So I'd heard this before, you know, so I'm like, yeah, sure, come tomorrow. And they never show up, right? And so I'm like, yeah, sure, tell me about yourself. And he sits and we talk. And man, this kid was magical, man. And I was like, all right, this is it, let's do it. So he started working out with us. And he started making a change. He was in recovery. And he was doing all the great stuff. And it was a funny thing, like after a really hard workout one day, he was just talking about it. He's like, you know, when I was using, he's like, what I like about these hard workouts is that I get that endorphin rush, that same endorphin rush that I got when I was using. And he said, but like when I was using, here I got to pay for that in advance. You got to pay for that endorphin rush with a bunch of box jumps or 100 push-ups or running a mile for time. Okay, you got to pay for that in advance, but at the end, yeah, you feel it, right? But when you're using, you pay for it on credit, right? And the interest rate's really high. And when he said that to me, I was like, wow, man, that's heavy. And then somehow, I think it was through him, he talked about the Phoenix. And I reached out, and we raised a whole bunch of money. We painted a big mural on the side of our building. I'm sure you've probably seen it. And to get the program going. And Micah was his name. He ended up becoming a CrossFit coach. He ended up working with us, working with everybody. And then he had a car crash, and he's not around anymore. I was pissed, and I said, excuse my French, I'm sorry. And I had to stop because we tried to launch this program. And he tried to bring friends in. And I think what it was simple. CrossFit maybe was a little too hard for some people. Maybe it was a little too intimidating. It's hard enough and intimidating for people who aren't struggling with other things. And so my intent here, and actually when I told Adam and I just oddly enough started talking about it a couple of months back, and he said, this is the thing, this is it. This is going to be, this can really be the hub of all the spokes that you guys are, that all the agencies that you represent are. This can be the thing that ties it together, okay? No, you might work with somebody who doesn't want to do box jumps and sweat their brains out, but just wants to do something that they could be sober with and have fun. So maybe it's painting, maybe it's needlepoint, maybe it's walking a dog on a Friday night. Do you go kayaking every Saturday? Do you have an extra kayak? Put your thing in there, get it out there. Are there agencies here that can donate kayaks, bikes, or whatever? Have an activity that we can do sober and get some stuff done and make some positive change. So tonight, my intention is to not let anyone leave my building, so get ready. Okay, without setting up the app, okay, and I might call you guys, without setting up the app on your phone, and without thinking about, and really thinking about, and if you know somebody who has something they can donate time-wise, thinking about a time you can set aside, it's really, 2 hours a week that you would need to do at a minimum to share something with somebody, to share your talent for painting, for drumming, for dog walking, throwing a frisbee, for CrossFit, whatever it is. And let's get it on the app, and let's create a network right here in Rutland. We can do that. We really can. I mean, I see a lot of really well-meaning people, and I talk to a lot of really well-meaning people in this town. Let's make it happen. All right? Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are 18 plus just because of liability and the fact that we are all inclusive. So if individuals can't be around anybody who is under 18, we do have family-friendly programming. We just have to put that on the app and make that very clear. Again, where we want accessibility and yeah, so what Rob just said, volunteers can actually volunteer once a month. They can volunteer as much or as little. Volunteering can look like just spreading the word about the Phoenix. You don't even actually have to lead an event. This right here is an event. So if you go on the app right now, you can sign up for this. It's under outreach, and that could be considered your first event, and you would be eligible to volunteer. Same with later tonight, that will be on the app. And we are going to do a little bit of movement. We won't do box jumps.
Yeah, tonight's format will be a little bit similar. Tiffany will be going into her PowerPoint that she worked really hard on.
Yeah.
And then there will be a little movement in the middle. We're gonna take about 20 minutes to do kind of a mock Phoenix session. Okay,
Yeah.
It's not just about doing the thing, but there's a little bit of icebreaker time and a little bit of time after. So we're just going to work on that for about 20 minutes, and then the last 20 minutes I'm going to spend muscling you guys into downloading.
Digging deep.
All right, we're going to dig deep. We're going to try to find some solutions, and we're going to make some. We're going to take some action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any
And
other-
just because Phoenix events are free does not mean that they have to cost nothing. We are a pretty successful nonprofit, and we do have funds available for like special events, bowling, axe throwing, any of those things.
You do axe throwing?
We do axe throwing. Yeah, so we do put on a bunch of like social events as well. Free is awesome, but like we do have money to put into the community.
Anybody else have any questions? Another thing, I do want to say that one of the things, it wasn't so much for me, and you'll hear about my little journey tonight, but but I do know from a lot of other people that if you're in recovery, if you've been through the fire, being with other people who have been through a similar fire is really, really important. That's really how things people can relate, and that's really how big change can happen. Anyhow, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you again to Tiffany and Rob. I hope to see all of you there tonight. Bring your sneakers, bring your sweatpants. It'll be a lot of fun. All right. Next, we're going to move into the networking section. We're going to keep it a little short, so feel free to break out and head out into the lobby for some of the pizza donated by Domino's Pizza. I want to give them a special shout out. They have been doing this for quite a few months for us now. Their team over there is amazing, so I just want to give them all of their props because they do amazing work. So go on out. We got about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back in here for a brief breakout, and then we'll move into some positive and uplifting stories. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to everybody who is still here post-pizza. Very appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and move along into our positive and uplifting stories. I'm going to start with one of the VTSU Castleton students. I was told that the person who wanted to speak the most would be picked, so whoever you want to stack. You're not picking? Careful, I'm going to choose off outfit, so I'm going to go red jacket. I don't know your name, you'll say something? All right. If we can just speak into the microphone so we can caught for PEG TV.
So
either works.
I'll just do it from here. So again, one of the most uplifting things of working with this group of students this year is just the growth that we've seen where they when they started in their field placements and they started interacting with people in the community, how new and raw and everything else that they were, and this is a group of professionals now. Every week I meet with subgroups, and just hearing about like direct interventions they're doing, going above and beyond in the community, driving down to Bennington to support a kiddo, or going out with the CRSs into the community, and I don't want not singling anybody out because you all do wonderful work, and so it's been very uplifting for me to see the growth and to see how well you've all done, and it's a service to the community, and I know from the feedback that I get from agencies how much they appreciate what you've done as well. How many of you have already gotten hired or are going to get hired at an agency in Rutland? One. I mean, I think at least half of them are already working at an agency that was either where they were doing their internships, but I think that's a positive story.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for all of your hard work. Going to open it up to raised hands for anyone with a positive or uplifting story. I'll start calling on people, and that's when it gets scary. Well, all right, I guess I will provide an update from the Boys and Girls Club of Rutland County. Unfortunately, their reps had to leave a little early. They wanted me to let everybody know that a teen center will be coming with Partners for Prevention and the Boys and Girls Club to downtown Rutland. Woo! That's right. More information on this project is forthcoming. There was an article in the Rutland Herald published. They encourage everyone to go, give it a read, take a look, and reach out to the Boys and Girls Club of Rutland County or Partners for Prevention if you have any other questions or need any more information. I think with that, we're ready to close on out. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being patient with me as I flew solo this afternoon. Help yourself to some pizza on the way out and enjoy the beautiful weather.